Beware, I live. Hello everybody, Sparkstar1701 here. We're taking another look at a Studio 86 figure, and this one is probably one of my favorites that they've done in the line, Scourge. And of course, for any of you that have been keeping up for the movies, remember that in the upcoming Rise of the Beasts, Scourge here is going to be the main antagonist. Be interesting to see what they're going to make him transform into. But at any rate, before we get to that point, we got to take a look at this one. And of course, this one is done to resemble his appearance from the 1986 animated film. Let's move him out of the way here so you can see his backdrop, which is basically depicting the formation of Scourge. So as you can see, Kickback and Shrapnel are in the process of being reformatted into the Sweeps. Supposedly in the next wave of release for these guys, which should be coming soon, we will be getting a generic Sweep to be partnered with Scourge. I may have to look into that and see what I think about having one or two of them. And of course, a few months back, when I reviewed Kingdom Cyclonus, we had him there with them. And as you can see, the two of them do look pretty good next to each other. But I got a real treat for you guys as well for watching somebody that's going to be coming up, and my real prize from RoboCon this year, Kingdom Galvatron. So yes, as you can see, I do have Galvatron. So do look forward in the coming months for Galvatron to be unveiled. But before we talk about Galvatron, which we will do in the future, we should talk about Scourge. And of course, Scourge was one of the figures that was released back in 1986. Slide him aside here for a second so we can bring in his 1986 original toy. And like many of them that were done to promote the movie, he was only on the shelf for 1 year. As in the second year of release, Scourge would be reformatted into a Target Master figure. Now, this version of Scourge was only packaged in 1 to a case. So that makes him extremely rare. So if you are out trying to find the Target Master version of Scourge, you will have to shell out a fair amount of money to acquire one. He is getting a little bit better, more affordable, but he's still going to cost you a fair bit to find one. Let's take a better look at Scourge's accessories. Since he was released as part of the Voyager class, like Hot Rod, he comes with an energy bolt. It's done in a translucent purple color. And as we showed here, it can be plugged in to the end of his gun to make it look like that he is shooting. Although it can also be plugged into certain other holes to make it look like he's been shot. Although the way this one is, it's kind of hard to tell how well that'll look. And of course, next up we have is Scourge's gun. Just done up as an interesting looking little rifle. And of course, when compared to the Generation 1 gun, it does take a few cues from the original gun, namely in the fact that it does have a light or scope done up here at the front of the gun. and there is a small protrusion at the back. Plus, of course, this one has a post poking out the left hand on the right side of the gun, very similar to the ammunition clip that was protruding from the same side on the original toy's gun. So, a rather interesting little homage to the original toy. Now, let's take a look here at Scourge's articulation. We can turn his head from side to side. And his head is on a small ball joint, so it will rock back and forth a bit. His arms can be raised up about so far. Almost looks like he's getting ready to cast a spell or something that way. And the arms can be rotated all the way around, but you will have to shift his wings out of the way in order to get full clearance. We can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees. And it does swivel at the bicep. So Scourge does have some G.I. Joe battle grip. He can be turned at his hips. You can spread his legs apart, almost into a full splits. His legs cannot easily be turned at the thigh. Oh, there it goes. Like a few of them, it only goes just the one way. You can raise his leg up at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees as well. And of course, you can also point his toes. So all in all, Scourge here does have quite the range of motion. Even though when he stands like this, with the way his wings are fanned out, brings almost other cinematic characters to mind. I'm Batman. Alright, let's transform Scourge. And he's also relatively easy to do. So it's one thing going for him. The first thing we do is we've got to press his legs together so they clamp together. And next we pop his arms free at the shoulders. And then they're going to be folded down. There's this hole right here, right along the inside of his wrists. And that should line up and attach to the post here on the side of his leg. So feel free to make the necessary adjustments to get it to reach down there. The other arm going. Just like that. I'm going to come around back here to spread out his wings a bit. And then we have to fold down these panels. Try to keep everybody level here. Of course, once they're down, we'll come down here. We're going to fold out these lower ends. And they're going to want us to align everything so that all the sides line up. Get them up and secured in to the sides. Then we'll come down here to the ends of his wings. You fold these little sections up. Oops, wing popped loose, but that's likely going to happen throughout the whole process of this. And they want you to rotate his head so it's now facing us from the back side. And then we're going to pop this little piece out. Fold it up. so that it covers his face. And then we raise up this little platform. And then we're going to fold this whole thing down. Right in here, you'll see there's a hole. We're talking this rectangular one. And it should connect into this post here, right around his rear. And I want you to keep this part sticking straight out like that for the moment. And once we've got that in, then we get to fold it down. And as you can see, there's a couple more holes back here. Well, those should line up with these two posts here, just behind his feet. So you just line them up and lock them into place. There we go. Now we got one in. There we go, that's better. The unit does like to pop free. Then once we've done that, we come back here to his feet, and you're going to fold down the rear portion of his feet so that they go inside just like that. And then with the rear portion in, you can then fold in his toes. Then they want us to turn him around, reach down in here, and get this piece freed. Or perhaps not. No, that doesn't come free. Oh, wait a minute, it is supposed to. Give me a second here. Yeah, it's the problem with this piece here. It tends to get down a little too low, and then you can't get at it with anything. So at any rate, you reach up here and you fold it all the way back, like so. And then we're going to finally connect both halves of the wing, both of the wing sections together. Start by connecting it up front at the nose. And just gradually work your way around. Now, the instructions say start at the nose. I kind of started at the back, but that's only because pieces were not cooperating like they should have. I'm going to make sure to keep everything free and loose at the sides. Like that. And of course, once you've got that all in place, we'll take this folded up section here and bring it up even more so that it covers the face entirely. And then of course we come down here and fold the last of the wings down. And then there we have it. Scourge is in his Hovercraft Mode. Of course, we got a hole on the side here so that you can attach the gun. And if you so choose, you can plant the energy bolt here on the gun, or you can plug it in up there at his disintegrator cannon. A neat, novel little approach. Of course, how does he compare to his original toy? Well, we'll set the original one right here next to it. And the design does invoke the original one a little bit more. Shouldn't these be upright a bit? Yep, that's better. As it does have the long plate on here that extends it. They extended it further than what was done on the original. Later versions, including the Target Master, would eliminate the raised platform and paint and lay a sticker on it instead of having to paint it. But all in all, this does look pretty good. But we're not entirely done with Scourge. Yes, believe it or not, they give us a different option to use with Scourge. We can display him with the head sticking out. So to go with that fun bit of motion, we start by, of course, folding out his wings to get them out and open. Fold out this portion here. Then they want us to separate the wings. After we get that midsection opened. Open this up. Then we raise the portion up. And then reconnect everything. Get all that reconnected. And then we just simply work this back in. Reconnect it on top. Of course, we'll have to shift this a bit so that we can rotate Scourge's head so that it faces forwards this time. And basically, once we have everything reconnected, fold the wings back under. And then the gun and the energy can be reattached. But let's give you a good close-up so that you can see the face of evil. And let him fire. And there we have it, an extra play mode. You can't argue with that. At any rate, we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Scourge? Again, this one is also a considerable improvement over his original toy. The wings on Scourge definitely make him look far more menacing and intimidating than how they were done and presented on the Generation 1 toy. I was always disappointed by looking at him and seeing that he didn't have the wings that were commonly spread out, as you would see not only in the cartoon but in a lot of the different artwork as well. Scourge was supposed to have these large, intimidating wings. That pretty much did mark him as an unholy creation, and especially when you consider a lot of the symbolism behind Unicron, then that definitely fits in as well. You want to see the wings on Scourge. The Generation 1 toy kind of neglected that with the way he was designed. So, while it did take 35 years for him to improve Scourge, I think it was finally worth the wait, and especially to know that before too terribly long, we will have an official sweep for him to lead. At any rate, that's my review of the Studio 86 release of Scourge. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join our ranks. Make sure you ring the bell so you'll be notified when we post new content. We ask you share this video with your friends and fellow collectors. That helps this channel grow. Oh, and by the way, around here we've also got some suggested videos and playlists that I hope you'll all take the time to check out if you haven't already. Also, share your thoughts about Scourge in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you all later.